who were expecting to pay 0% tax but ended up paying 9%.
If they don't fulfill the conditions which are listed out in the regulations, they were mandatorily required to go for a 9% normal regime and file their tax returns.
How can they fix it, or they can't fix it?
Unfortunately, they cannot fix it.
Hi Mitesh, welcome back to another episode of our Corporate Tax Filing Challenges series. Today we are talking about which most of the free zone companies were caught off guard, who were expecting to pay 0% tax but ended up paying 9%. Can you please explain what happened?
Yes, this is something I would say a very much discussed topic across the market between the free zone companies. What perception people earlier had is, since they are a free zone company, they are not required to pay any tax. It will be by default 0% corporate tax for them. But no, it was not like that. If they don't fulfill the conditions which are listed out in the regulations, they were mandatorily required to go for a 9% normal regime and file their tax returns.
Okay, but if some companies have made a genuine mistake, so how can they fix it, or they can't fix it?
Unfortunately, they cannot fix it, even though it was a genuine mistake. I would give you a reason for that. When the UAE corporate tax law came in, at that time, even Federal Tax Authority highlighted this thing very clearly, that do assess your business well in advance and see to it whether you are fulfilling all these conditions which are required to be qualified for a 0% tax benefit. If you are not, then you need to go with a normal way. And once you go the normal way of filing by opting for standard corporate tax regime, which we call it as 9%, there is no way to come back for the next 4 years. I'll help you with a real life example over here. What happened with one of our clients is, they were into distribution business. In a way, if I explain, they had sales from outside UAE to outside UAE. We say it is a build to ship to model. They had proper office set up over here. They had staff in the free zone. The business was operating properly. But maybe someone recommended them that since your sales everything is outside UAE, you cannot qualify for 0% benefits. They were having a good turnover. They were into trading of electronics. They used to sell to the wholesalers out there in the Europe, UK market. But with some advice which they got, where it was highlighted to them that since everything is being sold outside UAE, you are not eligible for the 0% corporate tax. And they filed the return in a normal way by paying 9% on their taxable income and ended up paying almost 3 or 3.1 million in taxes. Later they came to us for some other concern. So out of the discussion from nowhere, we had some touch base on these corporate tax things as a general discussion. So at that time, the client highlighted, we paid 9% tax on our business, and it took as a shock to me that based on what they told me so far about their business model, they were not qualifying, or they were basically eligible to go for 0%. And then we sat with them, we discussed things, and he later realized that someone who advised him, they advised him completely wrong, and he had to shell out money paying in taxes unnecessarily when he was eligible, when the business was eligible to go for 0% corporate tax. So that was one of the business which we came across, we had a discussion with. I would say there are many businesses out there in the market who opted for 9% even though when they were qualified or when they were eligible to go for 0%, and they lost their benefit, and now for next 4 years they have nothing to do with. They have to sit tight and file each year their corporate tax by opting for 9% only, because this election which they have taken, they cannot amend it for the next 5 years.
Thanks, Mitesh, for sharing another valuable insights with all our listeners. So in our upcoming episodes, we will be talking about in depth regarding unrealized gains and fair value adjustments, another topic which is tripping up filings. Stay tuned.